This meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk.
Assistant City Attorney Hawkaluk. City Manager Burton.
Here.
Commissioner Dean.
Here.
Commissioner Logan.
Here.
Commissioner Reed.
Here.
Commissioner Shurtleff.
Here.
Mayor Collins.
Here. Welcome and thank you for participating in the City of Helena City Commission meeting. We are pleased to be able to provide this alternative format in the city's effort to broaden public participation. Please be patient as we may experience technical difficulties during the meeting. We welcome your public commentary. Please read the following tips and guidelines for the app usage and your participation. Would you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge. Board appointments. I'm recommending the following board appointments. Citizens Conservation Board, appointment of Pat Busselman to a first term on the Citizen Conservation Board. Term will expire on February 28, 2027. And also Helena Citizens Council District 6, appointment of Brenda Valerio to a term on the Helena Citizens Council as representative of District 6. Term will expire December 31st, 2025. Commissioners, comments, questions? Do we have any public comments on this topic? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will move to approve the appointment of Pat Busselman to a first term on the Citizens Conservation Board. Term will expire on February 28th, 2027, and the appointment of Brenda Valerio to a term on the Helena Citizens Council as a representative of District 6. Term will expire on December 31st, 2025.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Shurtleff.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Consent agenda, one motion. A, acceptance of interlocal agreement between the City of Helena and Lewis and Clark County to use ARPA funds to design a roundabout at Custer and Henderson. B, raise grant application letter of support. Any discussion, comments, commissioners? Any public comments on this topic? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor. Oh.
Okay, you can arm wrestle for it.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the approval of the consent agenda items.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Shurtleff.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Commissioners, proposals? Anything online from the commissioners? All right. Report of the city attorney.
I have nothing to report tonight.
Report of the city manager.
Mayor, with your permission, I'd like to invite Chris Daly up, the city's arborist, to inform the commission on the urban forestry grant.
Mr. Daly, you have the floor.
Is that better? Mayor,
Reason?
commissioners,
There you go.
thank you. this year we were invited to apply for a collaborative grant with Kalispell, Missoula, and Helena with the DNRC Urban Forestry for $22,000 for a large planting project that would have to happen in sort of like underserved communities. And the benefit to that is we would have a lower match for that grant, which is kind of interesting. So the grant would go for enhanced holding capabilities for our raw planting products, the trees that we get in bulk. Currently, we're watering them by hand. That would add irrigation to that setup. And then it would allow planting for upwards of 100 to 130 trees. And I'm looking at the 6th Ward for that planting project, and it would be free to residents in the boulevards.
Thank you. Comments or questions from the commission?
Mr. Mayor, I'm really excited about this grant, and I think timely given the implementation of the 6th Ward master plan and all the efforts of the TIF district. So very excited to see all of the trees, and thanks for your work.
Any others? Okay.
And Mayor, with your permission, I'd also like to invite Amanda
Thank you.
Opitz, our grants administrator, to update the commission on the Food Share Community Aid grants.
Thank you. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners.
You can put it down.
Thank you. Just a brief update. I wanted to let you know that the Food Share has requested a full drawdown of their $250,000 community aid grant. That money was going to pay for the site concrete work that has already been completed. So with that, we have one of our community aid grants will now be closed out.
Comments or questions from anyone online? Thank you.
And Mayor.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh,
I'm so sorry, I couldn't
go
find
ahead.
my hand. Just very quickly, for Administrator Opitz, are we asking for regular updates from the grantees, or was this one that was provided to us without a request?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioner Reed, we do have quarterly reports from all of our community aid grant recipients. There'll be an update actually coming at the March 6th meeting with updates on some of our remaining projects, as well as some agreements that'll be coming forward for the manager's signature. But this was coming, I guess, off of that cycle because they were completing their drawdown for that money.
Great. Thank you very much.
Any other comments from the commission? Thank you.
And Mayor, finally, last week, Commissioner Shurtleff and I and other city staff members met with the BID and other downtown members on parking issues. I just would like to let you know that in working with Mr. Dendy from the BID, we'll continue those meetings with the BID group to further define the issues and see if we can come up with some policy proposals for the commission's consideration.
Thank you.
And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, Manager Burton. Communications from Helena Citizens Council. Representative Kuiper, you have the floor.
Good evening,
evening.
Mayor and Commissioners. Today, I don't have much to report. We just have our meeting on Wednesday. That will be the 28th, excuse me. And you're all invited to attend if you'd like. So unless there's any other questions, that's all I got.
Comments or questions for Representative Kuiper? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Regular items. Consider public safety mill levy and bond resolution. Public Information Officer Garson, you have the floor. I don't know what Andy doing all over here.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. For the record, my name is Jake Garson. I'm the city's public information officer. I will be presenting on this resolution tonight, but I should note this has been a tremendous team effort. There has been a lot of work put into this resolution and the conversations we've had to date. So thank you for all the departments that have been involved in this. So what we're talking about today is a resolution for you to consider that would place a mill levy and bond proposals on the June 4th primary election ballot. The mill levy proposal is for funding for additional firefighters, police department personnel, and equipment that would be associated with those positions. And then the bond proposal would give the city authority to issue and sell general obligation bonds to fund construction of a third fire station, which would include a trading facility and equipment that would be associated with the operation of that facility. For a little bit of background on the resolution that is in front of you today, all of the information that went into the resolution was part of planning processes that started several years ago. The police department and fire department both went through planning processes and studies with independent consultants. For the police department, they conducted a staffing study over the course of 2022 and 23 that evaluated specifically the patrol division and provided recommendations on the need for additional patrol officers. And then following the staffing study, a committee was organized which included members of the public that reviewed the entire police department operation and provided further recommendations on additional staffing needs for the department. The fire department almost concurrently went through a comprehensive master planning process, also with a consultant, and then they organized a planning committee which created an executive summary of that master plan, which also brought forward key recommendations, both related to staffing and facilities. In 2023, both departments presented updates on the conclusions and the recommendations that came from those processes. And then in December, we had the first conversation with the commission at an administrative meeting where we summarized both the staffing study and the master planning process and started the discussion about the funding gaps and the fact that a status quo budget would not allow the city to address the needs that had been identified through these consulting processes. In January, we had a second conversation with the commission where we had been asked to bring forward multiple scenarios to discuss further what it might look like to start pursuing addressing the staffing and facility gaps. The commission gave direction on one of the scenarios to continue the conversation forward with. And so February 7th, we came back with more information specific to what the funding needs might be to support that recommendation or that proposal. And the commission provided consensus to move forward with the resolution that we're discussing today. So to give a quick recap of what the two parts of the resolution are specifically calling for. So the mill levy portion of the resolution is what would be focused on personnel and operation. So that would be the additional staffing for both fire department and police department. The police department proposal that has been brought forward is adding 9 additional staff members, personnel, which would include 3 call-taking officers, 3 new detectives, 2 community resource officers, and 1 civilian crash investigator. And then for the fire department, their proposal would be asking for 15 firefighters, which was the personnel need identified in staffing and operating a third fire station. And so theirs includes both addressing some of their short-term staffing needs, but also the idea of staffing up for a third fire station. The third fire station, or a new fire station, was also part of the proposal that was brought forward on the fire department side, and that is what would be addressed in the bond question that is included in the resolution. The fire station, or the numbers that we arrived at for the resolution and what the ask would be, are estimated 13,500 square foot facility, which would allow them enough space to house vehicles that are not currently housed here, like their hazmat vehicle. It would also allow for training space and, again, the equipment associated with outfitting the station. The cost for the facility was estimated at $375 per square foot. And the debt service, which ties into the second part of the facility question, is estimated on a 20-year term at 5% interest. So that's the numbers there. So in bringing forward the mill levy, based on the expected cost for personnel, salaries, benefits, uniforms, equipment, et cetera, for both the police and fire proposals, we would be asking for 31, or to levy up to 31.66 mils additionally. And you can see the cost breakdown associated with each of the departments. And then the new fire station, so in order to cover the debt service related to the issuance of the bonds, we would be asking for 5.66 mils to cover the annual debt service. You'll also see this information in the resolution per statute, and these will also be included in the ballot questions themselves. For an idea of property tax impact on a $100,000 value property, for the mill levy proposal, you'd be looking at $42.74 a year. For $300,000, it would equate to $128.22 per year. And for $600,000, it'd be $256.45 per year. And then for the bond question, for the mills to cover the bond debt service, the 5.66 mils, you'd be looking at $7.64 per 100,000, $22.91 per 300,000, and $45.81 per 600,000. So I included, just for reference, the proposal does have separate questions for the mill levy and the general obligation bond. And so that is how they would appear on the June 4th election ballots. And then finally, we have provided a staff recommended motion to approve the resolution, and open to any questions you have. I know that both police chief and fire chief are here if you have questions for them as well.
Thank you, Officer Garson. Comments or questions from the commission?
Mr. Mayor, question for Mr. Garson, and then maybe a question for the chief, if I might.
Please.
So the levy is a permanent levy, that's accurate, and the bond, a 20-year bond?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. And then perhaps for the fire chief. I should have asked this question during our administrative meetings, and my apologies that I didn't. So the training facility that's proposed, I guess question I have is, what happens to the existing training facility at the airport?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioner Logan, the existing training facility is on airport property. The building itself, we have not determined what would happen to the materials associated with that building, but that we could open that up for further discussion down the road.
So there's potential to still use that, or are you kind of looking at abandoning it?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioner Logan, I think the intention is to have a training facility that is co-located with the station, so we are better operationally situated to respond even during training events.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
Chief, don't go anywhere, and then Chief Petty, I will also have a question for you. I wonder, and it's going to be a similar question, Can you maybe briefly explain where we've had a long time of reviewing all of the information, months and months and months, after a couple years of study? Can you maybe just describe what the impact of having these 15 additional firefighters and a third station, what kind of impact that would have for the community?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioner Dean. The impact is to bring our emergency services capability up to the level that the community is demanding it, so to speak, as in the frequency and quantity of 911 services. In particular, on the fire service side, the north side of the railroad tracks, we do not have a station on that side of town, and we see roughly 25% of our total call volume based in the residential areas and some of the commercial, as well as the vehicle travel areas in that side of the city. So in a nutshell, it's to bring the fire service as well as police up to the level of service that the 911 system has created for us.
Chief Petty, I wonder if you maybe could discuss the impact to the community by having these 9 additional positions.
Yeah, Mayor, Commissioner Dean, I agree with Chief Campbell as far as bringing our levels up to par, I guess. Right now, we are able to respond to calls and we are able to get to public emergencies in a timely manner, but we could improve upon that with more personnel. I think during our presentations, we showed that the amount of calls for service is trending up. The amount of calls that require more attention during those calls from the police, and just technology-wise increasing the amount of evidence that we take in. The amount of time that officers spend not necessarily downloading evidence, but reviewing the videos that come in. Everyone has a cell phone, everyone has a computer, and that takes up a large portion of the job. So what is not seen with officers out on the street is behind the curtains when they have to do their reports and then get through the evidence and then log these reports in order to have successful prosecutions. And that's a big part of it. Like I said, we can maintain what we're doing now, but with the charts that we've shown, with the city growing in the past 20 years, almost 3 square miles, which adds to it in response times, like Chief Campbell said, and then also with the population growth that we've seen in that 20 years as well. If not more staffing now, we're going to need more staffing, and it's just inevitable. So do we do it now? We wait 5 years or 20 years? So.
Thanks.
You bet.
Thanks, Chiefs.
Mr. Mayor, I do have, if neither of the other commissioners have a question, I have a follow-up for Mr. Garson. So one of the concerns that has been expressed to me from several constituents is just what is the public education process between now and June? How are we going to explain, how is the city going to explain to the public the need? So if you could outline that, if you would, please. Thank you.
Sure, Commissioner. City Manager, do you want anything? Okay. So there has been a lot of work done up to this point. Staff not wanting to make assumptions on what the outcome of the resolution tonight will be. But we have begun meeting as a team to identify what our education needs will be should the resolution pass, which will include getting, really a summary of a lot of the information that has come forward from the study and the plan and the presentations that have come forward to the commission, to make sure that those are in a digestible, understandable format through the city's website, getting materials created, flyers, utility inserts. I mean, any means that we have to get, the factual information out to the public so that they can be educated and informed when they go to vote on the 4th. So we don't have a specific communication plan to hand out today, but I would say in the next couple of weeks, those details would be finalized should this pass. And we would also be looking to get ramped up with the information that's available, first through the website, so that people have a location to go to start educating themselves while we work on more of the information that we would then be making available to distribute and share out.
Thank you. Any other comments from the commission? Do we have any public comments on this? Are you done with your presentation? Do we have any public comments on this topic? Madam Clerk, any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I would move to approve the placement of 2 questions on the June 4th, 2024 primary ballot for the approval of 31.66 mill levies to support the staffing and equipment needs of the Helena Police and Fire Departments, and 5.66 mill levies to support the sale and issuance of bonds to construct an additional fire station.
Mr. Mayor, I'll be happy to second and have one comment before we vote.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Commissioner.
Thank you. First, I just want to thank staff for all of their hard work in putting together just unbelievable amounts of information over the past 2 years getting to this point. The city has spent countless meetings, not just at a commission level, but holding the fire department, master planning committee meetings, the police department planning meetings, evaluating data, really investing a lot of city financial resources and making sure that we had the data to make a good decision, and asking the voters to pass this levy and a bond. It's been 45 years since the city built a fire station. At that time, when the last station was built in 1978, the call volume was 504 calls a year. This last year, we were almost 5,000. Since 2000, we have experienced a population increase of almost a third, almost 35%, and our police department staffing has not really changed at all. It's essentially status quo from 2000. I think that we've spent all of this time evaluating the data to make sure that we were giving the community all of the information it needs to make a thoughtful decision in requesting these additional funds. And as a result, we see that we need to build and staff a third fire station, and the police officers and detectives and community resource officers to provide the services that our community demands. I'm really excited to vote for this. I think this will be a positive step in ensuring that our community has the resources it needs to continue to sustainably and safely grow. And I also think that we've approached this in a manner that is not, it's not unreasonable. If you look across the state, we've really, and the credit goes to staff, been thoughtful about the number of mills we're levying, or considering asking the voters to levy, and therefore that'll give us a sustainable track to fund these kind of services. Should this pass, a home of about $300,000, the levy will cost about $10 a month, and for the fire department, it'll be about $1.90 a month. I think that is an investment that most Helenans will want to make, because we want to live in a community that is safe and secure, and that when we pick up the phone and dial 911, we know someone will be there to help us. And so I'm really looking forward to this vote and appreciate, again, staff's work in getting us to this point.
Any other comments from the commission?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, just to echo the same sentiments that Commissioner Dean gave. Thank you to the staff for the work that they put into this, but more importantly, thank you very much to our fire and police departments who've been handling the call volume that we do have at the fire and police level. As Commissioner Dean stated, it's been 40 years since our last station was built, and 20 years ago, our experts told us that we were supposed to have a third station back then. And thank you to our firefighters and our police officers, Helena's bravest and finest, for handling that call volume. This is to show that, you know, we appreciate you, and we hope to work with you to educate the citizens of Helena. That I think we're in a unique situation where the city where we're at, we understand the importance of those city services that they've come to expect. And I look forward to voting in favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other final comments from the commission? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Consider a resolution of intention to establish fees to be charged for the Bill Roberts Municipal Golf Course. Director Smith, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. If I may, Mr. Mayor, can I introduce Mr. Jack Gregg, the Chair of the Golf Advisory Board, who would like to briefly speak to the Commission?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I am Jack Gregg, Chairman and Chairperson of the Golf Advisory Board. I will not take much of your time this evening. I am here to inform you that our February 20th meeting, the board unanimously voted to support the fee schedule that is before you this evening. All 6 members of our advisory board were in attendance, and all 6 voted aye. On a personal note, I would like to thank the staff of the golf course and Director Smith, Golf Operations Director Federer, and Superintendent Link for their tirelessly working to improve conditions at Bill Roberts Golf Course. We on the board appreciate their forthrightness and their ability to bring complicated matters to us in a way that we who do not understand how to run a golf course can understand it and need the reasons why these fees have been proposed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack. Mayor, Commissioners, we're here today before you asking for consideration for a resolution of intention to establish fees to be charged for Bill Roberts Municipal Golf Course. We brought these fees before you on February 21st administrative meeting, and we are here today with the staff recommendation asking for a motion to approve a resolution of intention to establish fees to be charged to the Bill Roberts Golf Course, repealing Resolution 20794, and to set a public hearing for Monday, March 11th. I'm here for any questions you may have. Our golf staff is online as well.
Thank you. Comments from the commission?
Director, I wonder, can you maybe talk a little bit about why we are considering increasing some of the fees and some of the increasing costs to operating the golf course?
Well, part of the answer, Commissioner, is the increasing costs. We look at our operation and what we have and what we offer to the public, the community, and to the state, and we can do comparables. And last year we made some movement and some change where we thought was wise. In particular, daily fees for golfers, 9 holes, 18 holes, we've kept those the same. We feel we're maxing out, so we looked and we did deeper research in carts. We have a new fleet of carts, so a tangible, being able to tangibly see a brand new fleet of carts and pay $2 more per 9 holes is something that was pretty simple to support that expenditure. And then we modified the cart rental rates and storage fees as well, and then minor adjustments to the pass holders fees, which we did comparables to other municipally run golf courses. And we felt we could, we're a little low, and we need to get up as an enterprise fund as best we can to support our business, from the golf operations, the golf maintenance to munis.
Any other comments from the commission?
Mr. Mayor, question please for Director Smith. Say again the meeting date that the,
Monday, March 11th. That would be 2 weeks from today.
right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have any public comments on this topic? Madam Clerk, any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will move to approve a resolution of intention to establish fees to be charged at the Bill Roberts Golf Course, repealing resolution number 20794, and to set a public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Consider a resolution of intention to establish fees to be charged for the Last Chance Splash Water Park and Pool and repealing resolution number 20820. You have the floor, Director Smith.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, once again, we're here today asking the Commission to consider a resolution of intention to establish fees to be charged for the Last Chance Splash Water Park and Pool and repeal resolution 20820. We came before you on Wednesday, February 21st at an administrative meeting last Wednesday. And we are here today with staff recommendation, asking for a motion to approve a resolution of intention to establish fees to be charged for the Last Chance Splash Water Park and Pool and repealing resolution number 20820 and to set a public hearing on Monday, March 11th.
Comments from the Commission?
Mr. Mayor, I guess I would just ask the same question. Can you talk about the cost to operate the pool and
Yeah,
justification?
absolutely, Commissioner. It is, without saying, staff put a lot of time in, and pool staff is online to answer any other questions I may not be able to answer, but put a lot of time in to do market research of what other people are charging. We do know this, it's costing more and more to operate. Energy costs are going up, chlorine are all going up at 5 to 20% rates. And our fee increases will put a dent in it, but we're certainly not charging to even keep up with the increase in expenses. And we don't take these fees lightly as it affects our community, but we are below average in the statewide market research of municipally run pools that have water parks.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Madam Clerk, any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I move to approve a resolution of intention to establish fees to be charged for the Last Chance Splash Water Park and Pool and repealing resolution number 20820 and to set a public hearing.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Consider a resolution for final annexation of a commercial parcel and associated utility lot at the crossroad at Mountain View Meadows subdivision. Director Brink, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. Before you tonight is consideration of a resolution of final annexation of two tracts, two parcels, totaling 11.648 acres, described as Tract D1A1 of the amended plat of Craftsman Village Phase 6 of the crossroads at Mountain View Meadows, document number 3404083, and Tract A1, 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 A2 of the amended plat of Aspen Park Block 9 at Mountain View Meadows subdivision. That document being number 3419735, Lewis and Clark County, Montana, as well as the rights-of-way adjacent thereto into the city of Helena, Montana. Some background on this request or this item before you. On January 17th of this year, Helena Springs Partnership and Mountain View Meadows LLC submitted a request for final annexation as per policy and requirements for property associated with the commercial portion of the crossroads at Mountain View Meadows. This site is generally located north of Alice Street, It fronts on Alice Street, and it's just east of Blue Cross Blue Shield. The combined associated tracts are known as Mountain View Meadows Commercial Phase 4 within the Mountain View Meadows subdivision. The property is adjacent to the city of Helena and is located within the urban standards boundary, and it is in accordance with the 2019 growth policy to annex property that is adjacent to the city limits and its related infrastructure, and it's within the USB. The subject property is pre-zoned B2, and that was done on June 4th, 2012 via ordinance number 3157. We've reviewed the request, and we have determined that the applicants have met all the conditions of annexation set forth in two resolutions of intent, 19911 and 20340, which was an amendment to that original resolution, passed by the City Commission on May 7th, 2012 and May 22nd, 2017, respectively. And they are now eligible for final annexation of these tracts into the city of Helena. So to conclude, staff recommends that the commission move to approve a resolution for final annexation of two parcels, again totaling 11.648 acres, described as Tract D1A1 of the amended plat of Craftsman Village Phase 6 of the Crossroads at Mountain View Meadows subdivision, document number 3404083, and Tract A1, 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 A2 of the amended plat of Aspen Park, Block 9 at Mountain View Meadows subdivision, that being document number 3419735, located in Lewis and Clark County, Montana, as well as the rights-of-way adjacent thereto in the city of Helena, Montana. I'm open to any questions, of course, and the applicant or their representative is here this evening as well.
Thank you, Director Brink. Comments or questions from the commission? Do we have any public comments on this topic? Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I'd like to move to approve a resolution for final annexation of two parcels totaling 11.648 acres described as Tract D1A1 of the amended plat of Craftsman Village Phase 6 of the Crossroads at Mountain View Meadows subdivision, document number 3404083, and Tract A1, 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 A2 of the amended plat of Aspen Park, Block 9 of the Mountain View Meadows subdivision, document number 3419735, Lewis and Clark County, Montana, as well as the rights-of-way adjacent thereto into the city of Helena, Montana.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Here. Yes. Yes.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Consider approval of annual update to the Transportation Coordination Plan specific to 5311 operating funds. You have the floor. I didn't know you were Dave, but that's okay. Chris, you have the floor, Mr. Cooey. You bet.
The first one is the annual update to the coordination plan. No significant changes really to the annual update on this. Capital Transit will continue to work with the other departments in the community that provide transit services. The second item, the authorization for the city manager to sign to submit the packet electronically. Third item, approval of the submission of the grant request for the capital equipment
as ranked by the Transportation Advisory Committee. So this one, I think, as we discussed in our budget session last week or the week before, the city didn't have an item to put in for ranking. We're still working on what that process looks like as part of the MPO now, and I'll be in Denver next week with the FTA, so I plan to ask plenty of questions for our process going forward for that. But as it stands now, the rankings as they went through the committee would go to Westmont for their request. Fourth item, the submission of the grant packet itself. And then the final item, the submission of our request for the TransAid funding for the $245,000. Be happy to answer any questions on any of those items.
Comments or questions from the commission? Do you have any public comments on these topics? Okay, as stated, we'll start with the the first one, E. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will move to approve the annual update to the Transportation Coordination Plan specific to the 5311 operating funds.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
F, consider authorizing the city manager to sign and submit Capital Transit Montana Department of Transportation 5311 operating grant package request electronically. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
I would move to approve authorizing the city manager to sign and submit Capital Transit's Montana Department of Transportation 5311 operating grant package request electronically.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Do we have any public comments on this topic? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
It's the G. I'll entertain a motion for G.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh, sorry. Oh,
I've finally got the right motion in front of me at the right time, so I'm going to go for it.
You go.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve submission of the Capital Transit's fiscal year 2025 Montana Department of Transportation MDT 5311 grant request for capital equipment as ranked by the Transportation Advisory Committee.
second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
H. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I
Go ahead,
move to
Commissioner.
approve submission of the Capital Transit Service fiscal year 2025 Montana Department of Transportation MDT 5311 operating grant request.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Aye. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr.
Mayor.
Mayor.
Go ahead, Commissioners. Fight for it.
Move to approve submission of Capital Transit's fiscal year 2025 request for Montana Department of Transportation TransAid funding of $245,117.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, sir. At this time, is there anyone from the public wishes to address the commission? Madam Clerk, do we have any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Any final comments from the commission?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
I apologize. I was hoping to get clarification based upon a question Commissioner Reed had from earlier. I would defer to the Assistant City Attorney on the DNRC item. So I apologize. For the record, Commissioner Reed was hoping to find out if we needed to make a motion on the DNRC grant item from earlier on the agenda. And that's what I was hoping to catch you before you closed out the meeting.
It appeared as the city manager's report item, but in the packet, it appears as though there's a motion to approve, and I just wanted to make sure we're not missing any deadlines if we do not approve.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I will move to approve the acceptance of the USDA USFS grant number 21 DG 11010000-024 in the amount of $22,800 for the Urban Forestry Department to complete the installation of a tree holding facility, planting projects in underserved neighborhoods, and education and outreach.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Okay. I'll go back to the public. Any comments from the public to the commission? Madam Clerk, any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Any from the commission? Final comments? This meeting is adjourned.